You're welcome back to the Afia Morning Show. My name is Natalie Upu once again. And of course, Nambi Obaya is still here. Now, without further ado, prominent women groups in Enugu have been a subject of controversy since some shocking Facebook posts were shared alleging impersonation and fraud. The president of Wosuwo, Mrs. Onyinye Mamah, has distanced herself from allegations of impersonation by the president of Women Support Women for Community Network, Ambassador Amaka Nweke. She spoke on the controversial post shared by the civil society organization in an interview with Afia TV yesterday. Here comes a detailed interview. Following the impersonation claims made on social media by Ambassador Amaka Nweke, who we all know as the president of Women Support Women Community Network, against Ambassador Onyinye Mamah, who we all recognized as President Women Support Women, but we have now learned is actually the president, Women Support Women for Human Development and Mentorship Initiative. A lot of confusion about how the name started to change, especially after a visit was paid by Mrs. Onyinye Mamah to Her Excellency Mrs. Okechi Nyeremba. And after that visit, a post was shared online that identified the group that came, that Onyinye Mamah led to her office as Women Support Women Network. This has sparked a lot of controversy because Ambassador Amaka Nweke believes that Onyinye Mamah tried to impersonate her during that visit, as well as during other interviews that were granted on TV stations. But we have Ambassador Onyinye Mamah right here in the studio, and she would help us clarify what is actually legal, what it is that she actually does, and exactly where Ambassador Amaka Nweke comes into the picture, and if there is such a thing as Women Support Women Group, Women Support Women Network, Women Support Women International, and Women Support Women for Human Development and Mentorship Initiative. On the 6th of August 2024, you wrote a letter of introduction and request for courtesy visit to Her Excellency. And you went ahead to meet Her Excellency alongside other women groups. And after that visit, the social media post that followed said that Her Excellency met with a Women Support Women Network group. And that seems to be what has amplified an already existing controversy. Can you please explain in detail how the visit with Her Excellency went and how matters came to this point?
Okay, so first of all, I would like to appreciate Afia TV for this very robust opportunity to make it all clear. I know you're also going to hear from the disclaimant, who is my former secretary and still a co-signatory that seized up the account in the past 2 years. So I would like Afia TV to provide evidence of the letter I used to visit Her Excellency. In that letter, you will see our logo as Wosuwo, Women Support Women for Human Development and Mentorship Initiative, duly registered and incorporated with CAC, dated and numbered. And you will also see our name proudly outlined. And I recall that while we were with Her Excellency on the same table, I introduced my organization that is more than a decade, and I introduced Women Support Women as my youngest organization, which is our slogan. And I said, there's another Women Support Women, and one of our PA echoed and said, yes, we are aware. So I was a little thrown off when I got a write-up from the Office of Her Excellency, reminding the Office of Her Excellency through her PA that I fought the governor with all my strength. And I did everything to damage this and this and this. Now, why would they allow me to come and reap where I did not sow? That as long as she's concerned, they shouldn't allow me to reap where I did not sow. And I didn't reply to that, because I've never been called into GBV expert program as a politician, nor on clamor. I've never clamored for it. I am always basically called as an expert, because I work with some of the first ladies in the LGA as a GBV expert, as summoned by the PA of Her Excellency, who has worked with me a lot while she was in the Ministry of Women, Social Development and Gender Affairs.
All right, so now the conundrum now is Women Support Women Network.
Yes.
And the disclaimant has shared some evidence saying that you claim to be this, especially when you came for an interview on the news tonight on Afia TV, a flyer that had that logo. Then we also had another one on breastfeeding week that had some names that she doesn't think belong to you. And then we also have other allegations, particularly following the visit to Her Excellency. So I have to ask you this, for the sake of people watching this and need clarification. Who owns Women Support Women Network? Who owns Women Support Women Community Network?
Okay, so Women Support Women Network is owned by nobody. We used to call ourselves, while she was my secretary, Women Support Women Network. When CAC declined, we opted out of that name. But most of the programs I had held with Afia TV 2022-2023 was probably synchronized into their system. And that's probably why that name kept popping up. Because we were using it until CAC declined. We went into Women Support Women International. CACC declined. And we landed at Women Support Women for Human Development and Mentorship Initiative, which is duly registered, incorporated, and older than any of our Women Support Women, with records, as you saw on Facebook. You saw her date, you saw her year, you saw her number.
Okay, so Women Support Women Network, Women Support Women International, these two groups were not
assented to by CAC. They were used in 2022 when we started. Okay. And then we pushed that name to CAC and said, give us this name. We are working with this name for the past 6 months. And CAC said, no, we declined. For some civil reasons. They said that the name looks more like women antagonistic group somehow. You know, Women Support Women. It looks like we want to fight men and all of that. They declined. On the second turn, we went for Women Support Women International. They still declined. And then I went to an expert in CAC and said, it's over a year we've been clamoring for this name. And we need to work with a logo. We need to work with a logo. We need to work with an exact name. That already, you can't take away our slogan from us, which is Women Support Women, but you can take away our name from us. He now added, you can cite, Mr. Uzebus, he works with CAC. He now added Human Development and Mentorship Initiative, and he flew. And that's where we have the names we use in all our letters and all of our visits. So the supposed disclaimant is not entitled to ask questions around those names because she owns Women Support Women Community Network. She doesn't own Women Support Women Network. And she doesn't own Women Support Women International. She used to be my co-signatory and sat under me as a secretary. We worked together. We visited the whole market in Enugu. We had advocacy visits. They were all paid for. She was also part of the people that signed and was paid. So when she talks about embezzlement of funds, I laugh and I tell myself, of course, the social media, it's not where I will throw such tantrum and banters with you until we go to the courtroom or the right place, and then the documents will speak for itself. But recall that I told you that 2022, when they started conversing for the positions in the State House of Assembly, both Honorable Princess Obiajulugu, both the current Enugu State PDP woman leader was canvassing for the same position with Amaka Nweke on Enugu East. I brought them all and I broke them down in that umbrella, and she was my secretary. Now, the latest gossip I heard after she started disclaiming was that she has gone from saying that I am impersonating her to saying that she started Women Support Women and made me the president. You know, I mean, that was the height of the comedy. From saying I was impersonating her organization, the current news I heard now is that she opened Women Support Women and made me the president. Okay, you made me the president in the bank. You made me the president in all of the activities, even going to the governor. I can invite like 10 pressmen if they want to be part of this squabble, of which I know people who want to meddle up with women affairs. Because it's always like this. You start up something with love and passion, and the battle ensues. 2 years ago, we were in a WhatsApp group. And she said she was going to collect SNET from Mr. Archer. That Archer did this, Archer did that. And I said, why can't we sue for peace? Why can't we love each other and give up on this rants on the WhatsApp page? I will never forget what she said. She said, Madam Embezzler, I'm coming for you too. I was shocked for 3 days because you have never come to me to talk about accountability and transparency. And when she spoke up about accountability, I have the 3 official letters she was invited for. She was invited 3 times to come before the women and state how the work we did was not properly accounted for. She said none of us has the right to invite her, that she will do things on her own terms. The current secretary is a witness to what I'm saying now. And so, like I said, when the chips are down, the documents and the items will properly speak for itself.
One thing that Ambassador Amaka Nweke had emphatic about is that she is the one that went to register Women Support Women group.
Yeah.
She also claims that eventually she was removed and other pioneer members were also removed as well. Can you speak to this claim?
All right. So, I mean, if you registered something, right, you must have the documents. I mean, there must be something to show. If you think I have withdrawn the document from you, go to the place you registered and make demands. It's that simple. Let's not start 2025 with so much drama that emanates from the place of jealousy and envy. Amaka has Women Support Women Community Network. She has Anambra Women General Assembly. She has support group. All of them are less than 2 years old. The highest may be 2 years. I am 14 years. And I wonder why I will leave the years I've labored to build my name and the organizations and go and be hunting a 2-year-old toddler. You know, and what baffles me about her conundrum and squabbles is how she would merge so much of Christ and the Bible to what she's cooking. I recall that she told me 2022 ending, when I told her to desist from fighting Archer. She told me, Enugu have seen you like an angel for so long, but I'm going to dent your name. And I'm going to use black mud on your name, so much so that you can't come out of it. And she's fulfilling her promise. But I know that such promises can only be kept and fulfilled when they are true. And so from her side, there could be so much drama, so much quoting of scripture, so much calling of Jesus. But very soon, the realities will be brought to book. I mean, a former secretary and a co-signatory is accusing someone you left as an impersonator. Okay, all this while you kept quiet. And in 2025, January, you popped up something that happened in February 2024. Where are letters you used to address me officially to say, I did this and I did that? Where did you call me? In the police station, and I declined.
Okay, so now, you know, there are still so many names that have to be women. Women Support Women Group, Women Support Women Network. Is there a difference?
These names no longer exist.
Even the Women Support Women Group
no longer exists. Because I told you, we started and ran. And Amaka was the reason we gave birth to Women Support Women. I must tell you that truth. When I opened a personal platform for her, she pleaded for a month before I agreed to do that. She came to me and she submitted. She said, the voice, you already own a voice in Enugu. People know you. And when you say things, they believe you. Can you please speak for me? I want to vie for the post of Enugu State House of Assembly, Enugu East. And I said, what's the possibility of you winning Enugu East when you're Anambra, your husband is Anambra, and Enugu East is the brother, the senior brother of Nkanu, supposedly? How do you think you can measure these things up? And she said she has a long leg. I said, good. I said, I'm not going to do it for you because I'm not politically inclined, but we talk for women inclusion. And then she stopped. 2 weeks after, she came back and she said, the voice, do you still mean you won't do this for me? I accepted. And I said, don't call me your campaign manager. Call me your campaign advocate. So when they started, I was all over Enugu. It's one of the things that baffles some of the people who are not talking. I recall that one of the greatest personalities in Enugu called me and said, is it the same lady you were begging me to sponsor that is defaming your name now? I said, yes. He called the phone at me and said, continue being good. You've seen the value of being good. Yes, I won't call names.
All right. Now, coming straight back to another allegation, the money fraud.
Good.
You know, you are being accused, a person are bringing to AFCC, and I quote Amaka Nweke saying that immediate investigation and action against you for alleged impersonation of reputable organizations and misrepresentation of credentials and affiliations. Now, I have to ask this question. Since Women Support Women Group, Initiative, Network no longer exists, have you ever told people to stop addressing you as any of those names? Because even at Apia TV, I know you as President Women Support Women. Yes. So was that a passionate call by you to keep maintaining, because that was what you initially wanted, although it was declined by CAC?
Okay, so we still use up to date. If you call me, I will tell you I'm President Women Support Women. But when I'm writing you, when I'm working with you, when I'm doing anything opportunistic with you, I'll give you the right details. Why I say Women Support Women is that till date is still our acronym. Everywhere in the world, it is still Women Support Women.
Well, is it validated?
It's now validated because the organization has been incorporated. You picking your slogan and your acronym is your business. If you come to our organizational meeting, we say Women Support Women and we say for good governance. So it's our acronym.
The CAC, they still basically accredit slogans. I run a business too, and I had to also write what my slogan would be.
Yeah.
So the slogan, is it accredited?
No, because I spoke to Zebus and I said, how do we affiliate our slogan? He said our slogan is too lengthy. Women Support Women for good governance, plus the name. That we should just fly with our name and do our slogan our way. You understand? Why I'm quoting names and calling organizations is that they all can be reached. Let me even tell you what the CAC personnel told me. When I saw her validation as registered, and I said, CAC, why did it take you people more than a year to validate our names? But within a space of time, you gave this person a similar name. He said it's not possible. That the woman using that name needs to really go down to CAC and be sure that she got a valid certificate.
Because she shared the certificate on Facebook as well as Now, this controversial embezzlement claim of 10 million naira, can you please speak to this allegation?
All right, so I will start with saying, as a co-signatory and a former signatory and a former secretary, can she go and print the statement of account and bring to AFIA so that AFIA will televise? And then from there, I don't know if this AFIA is not the proper place to bring in our financial documents. I would have obliged you a lot of our financial documents. They are no longer in the office because I don't trust, with our desperation and promises, I no longer trust myself keeping the documents in the office. But when we go to the right place, like I keep saying, the documents will certainly speak. The documents will speak. There are lots of things I will say that will be amusing and even ridiculous at the same time.
Amaka makes it appear as if you've left Heroine Women Foundation.
Why? An old organization. You know, it's something I don't want to say here, but you know, that was really bogus. Bringing women, Heroine Women Foundation into that talk was purely defamatory. She meant it and she's doing it. She said, Enugu people see you as an angel, as someone that has made a name. I will dent your name. If not that, what was Heroine Women Foundation doing in her write-ups?
Because she's saying that has been left behind.
Has it been left behind, Natalie?
It's still part of your flyer.
Big time. So, I mean, I shouldn't answer that.
Okay, so I think I would like to wrap this up this way. I would also want to know your final word on this matter. And before you share your final word, do you think it's still apt to be addressed in whatever capacity as President Women Support Women if the CAC is yet to approve that title? And your final
CAC has approved Wosuo. You can call me for the keeps. You can call me President Wosuo.
Okay.
That's our acronym.
All right.
You can call me Women Wosuo.
Can you re-emphasize the full name?
Wosuo is still, that's what we abbreviated from Human Development and Mentorship Initiative.
Yes. That's the one that the logo that was used.
The last publisher that did my flyer in AFIA, I recall that when she sent that flyer, I wrote her back and said, this name, it's now our name. And she said, okay, she will imprint a correction, which she did. But you know, she's using an old flyer. Amaka is using an old flyer. That's probably why her claims looks like she's robust.
Okay, so now what you've established is, whereas in the past you have allowed people to address you as President Women Support Women, but you never used or allowed people that needed to have some kind of business engagement with you.
I thought
they have rights to address you with that you always supply them with
the real logo and the real name.
Okay.
I'm going to give you all the letters my mobilization team wrote to the local government leaders and to some other persons they wrote in December. I want you to carefully look at the logo and the name.
Yeah, because there were allegations of using Women Support Women to procure contracts, perhaps to...
We've not gotten a single contract in Women Support Women. Heroine is funding Women Support Women. Heroine is funding Women Support Women.
But Women Support Women, you've established, does not exist.
Women Support Women for Mentorship Initiative and Human Development is fully in existence.
Okay, so I think the question now is actually that the condensing the name confuses
a lot of people. Good.
Judging by the fact
now you get it. Similar name. We all started with Women Support Women. This one is answering Women Support Women Community Network. This one is answering Women Support Women for Human Development. You mean the society is dazed. I was also baffled at such level of childishness, but she basked in that sense because the people who advised her to claim that she started and I took over. I mean, why would I want to take over? I already made a name in the civil society sector. It's baffling. It's very young to reason such way. I mean, it's a toddler's reasoning to think that I've gone over a decade in a space and I'm hunting someone who is younger in the space.
All right. Now, following the meeting with Her Excellency, the social media post read Women Support Women Network. And that has obviously become a brand on its own.
Yeah.
Because even though you say that you don't use it for any transactions beyond perhaps just being fondly addressed as that, but TV provides some kind of credibility.
Yeah.
It's a credible platform. People would address you by what they see as your designation.
Beautiful.
That even the office of the president was able to use that title for you. So do you see that? What's your appreciation of that? What have you learned from that? Because led to where we are.
So Natalie, I tell you what the confusion is still. You see, lots of women support women. And we're having too many writers error, including Afia. I've also written Women Support Women Network for me.
I personally have written Women Support
Good.
Women, but it was never declined.
Maybe I didn't even pay attention. I'm not interested in fighting. She started the fight, and that's why she's speaking the tiny bits. The fact is, her name is not Women Support Women Network. Her name is not Women Support Women International. She is the current leader of Women Support Women Community Network. Why are the three names removing her clothes? It's a concern. I mean, CSC should be probing me or taking me to court. Rather, she's doing that for them. So people have not really sat down to look at the undertone. Should the person probing me be Amaka? She's not a lawyer by profession. She's not an arbitrator. She doesn't work in the Ministry of Justice. Why are you probing the names? And if you want to probe the names, there's a right quarter. There's a channel for probe. So coming to the social media is just, it's just like fulfilling her manifesto that she would dent the image. But there are images you don't dent. Images that are steady, well understood, and are deliberate. You don't dent such images. You dent the images of people that are ephemeral and flimsy. I'm not a flimsy person, and I'm not a sporadic person. I'm intentional. I'm highly intentional. So you can't dent my image. If she's going to use the next 1 year, 2 years to banter on social media, she has to go to the right quarters. The right quarters is to use the courts or to allow EFCC that you've written to invite us. Let the both of us come to the query board with the papers. Come with your evidences to prove that this woman has been impersonating you. And I will come with my evidences to prove that I don't have troubles with you.
Okay. So we're establishing now that post about Women Network was a
writer's error.
A writer's error.
Please, and I will want you to oblige the public and show them the letter and the logo I used to visit Her Excellency. And probably also find a way to question anybody in the office of Her Excellency. The name I mentioned while I was introducing myself. That will do you a big time, appreciable investigation. Find time. If it's doctors or if it's any of the PAs, I think she has well enough PAs. Find time and ask.
So this definitely answers a lot of questions. I think somehow we're able to address all the angles. So moving forward, we are establishing that Women Support Women group, Women Support Women network, both of them do not stand. So we now address you henceforth as what's the final name now?
Women Support Women for Human Development and Mentorship Initiative. But if you don't want to go that long, I'm telling you again, our slogan is Women Support Women. So maybe if you're doing your flyers, do with the long name. If you're talking to me, call me President Women Support Women. There's no banter. I mean, for the keeps, for the records, we don't do process and procedures on social media. There's a way to do things, right? So maybe she was trying to garner validation from the social media. I have just one word to drop for her. I'm not going to give her replies on the social media until she takes it up as an adult. As far as I'm concerned, it's one of those rants I see on the public space. There's a right way to do things. Print your bank statement, bring the evidences you have, call the people that will stand in as your witness, and I will come to stand for myself.
And that was, of course, Onyinye Mamah clearing the air on the controversy that has surfaced in the state between the two women groups. She joins us now virtually to tell us what the update is and where we are right now in this saga. Onyinye Mamah, thank you so much for joining us this morning yet again. Mrs. Mamah, can you hear me?
Yes. Natalie, good morning.
Good morning to you as well. So you were here yesterday and, you're here again virtually today. What is the update? What is the final clarification? What has changed between yesterday and this morning?
Okay, so I think I just want to give the audience a very clear picture of everything, right? So our color is red, our logo is circle, and a fisted closed hand with our name circled on it. Our slogan is Women Support Women. Our abbreviation is WOSUWO. But our name is Women Support Women for Human Empowerment and Mentorship Initiative. Women Support Women for Human Empowerment and Mentorship Initiative. We were properly registered on 20th of June 2023. Then, the other group that is claiming that we impersonated them, their color is purple, their logo is W, on white. Their abbreviation is WOSCONET. Their name is Women Support Women Community Network. We share nothing similar with these people except the startup of the both names. And for the records again, she used to be the secretary of Women Support Women, but she left and opened Women Support Women Community Network, abbreviated as WOSCONET. We are Women Support Women for Human Empowerment and Mentorship Initiative, WOSUO. Yesterday, I mistakenly called development instead of empowerment. We are empowerment. Women Support Women for Human Empowerment and Mentorship Initiative. Our colors are not the same. Our logos are not the same. The owners are not the same. The slogans are not the same. Our office addresses are not the same. And the letter we used to go visit Her Excellency has nothing to do with WOSCONET. Now, if the office of the Excellency wrote Women Support Women Network, it is not what we officially visited them with. In our palpitation and oversight, we might have said some things, but we shared no impersonation, similarity, or any of the likes with WOSCONET. Please, we want to appeal to the public to look clearly at these two organizations and note the differences. We are not the same. I am 13 years in the civil society space. I've been around. I do not find a reason to impersonate someone who is barely 2 years old, because I've built the time, I've built the intellect, I've built the exposure, and I'm still building. I have some of our senior colleagues that are 35, 25, 27 years. We aspire to get to that level, but at least I'm way too older than this person who has been making some of this loud and very bogus claim.
All right.
I know it is aimed at defaming me.
All right, Nnamdi, I would like to get your reaction to this, and if you have any questions.
I just want, just one very, very simple question. So all this stems from a reply from the Office of the First Lady, which addressed you as Women Supporting Women...
Women Support Women Network. And other flyers.
Is that where that came from? Are you still with us? I think we may have lost her.
I think we may have lost her. Maybe she has, of course, gotten network issues. But I think that's exactly. And then other issues around, shortening it to present Women Support Women. And then the main concern here for the disclaimants is the use of network, because network, she feels, is too similar to her own. But then if you're alleging impersonation, then you have to really be impersonating, right? There has to be a clearer connect. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I need to understand. I mean, it seems like one group splintered into two, and everybody has formed their own. The names are a bit similar, and there is an issue. Everybody should have their CAC documents, and if everybody has their CAC documents, then there's no problem. I think if a letter was written to the Office of the First Lady, which you showed the letterhead, and the person who carried the news of the visit put the wrong Women Supporting Women.
Yes.
I don't think that's on the person who visited.
Yes. There's definitely a need to regularize a lot of those things.
I'm trying to understand the situation.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure. I don't want to, make statements I'm not 100% sure of. I'm just trying to the best of my understanding. It seems like if you visited me and I told somebody that, oh, Jumai visited me, then you hear it and Jumai hears it and says Natalie is impersonating me. Whereas I just made the mistake and called Natalie.
Yes.
Jumai.
I think now what this shows us, right, generally, because her business is registered. I'm going to run a quick CAC check after this. The business is registered. We'll check down the CAC website while we get our next guest. There is need to take even the slightest detail seriously.
Yeah.
Because even if graphic designers make a lot of mistakes, I mean, We can attest to that, right? A lot of mistakes can be made. So those little things that could be taken of, oh, it's a synonym or it means the same thing, they actually do mean something. But as far as being in business, there is definitely a document to back that up. But then those little mistakes of maybe mistakenly saying development instead of empowerment and empowerment instead of development, those things need to be fixed because we've seen that it can have a lot of their implications. But if it's about impersonation, I don't think that there's any.
But I mean, and the third part of it, if there were even issues of development or empowerment, neither of those words are in the other lady's name.
Yes.
So what's her own issue?
The main issue for her, for the disclaimer,
is women support women.
Ambassador Amaka Nweke, is network. The use of network. The use of network on the News Tonight flyer and the use of network after the visit to Her Excellency. Network was on the social media post. But we are already out of time at this point, but we just received word that Onyinye Mamah is back. Onyinye Mamah, is there any final remark you would like to make? Because we're already out of time at this point. I think she's gone. Network issues are terrible this morning. But I think we already have all that we need to know. We'll continue to follow up on this story and also throw it open to the other parties who are involved in this to reach out to Afia TV and also tell your side of the story. Because like we said before, we're here to tell the story of the Southeast. It doesn't matter if it's politics, doesn't matter if it's lifestyle, business, whatever it is. Please do well to reach out and let's tell your story.